Hi, today is Monday the 13th, and I just wanted to report on new things that I see in the news. I just saw there's going to be a new TV program about these mercenaries that are looking for terrorists in the United States or, around the world. They said one thing, they said, well, that guy knows we're on to him. Well, you know what? The thing is, we're onto them. We know about mercenaries. We know about torture. We know about massive bodies being found, graves of massive. We talk so much about all these other countries doing atrocities, and yet we're doing some of the same things. And we are onto that. We're onto the bankers. We're onto this continuation of Bush and all Bush. And it was like the neocons are coming out again and saying, "Oh well, that's nothing. That's poo-poo. That's just little. That's just a little something." Yeah, that was a little something for 8 years. A little something, like about every single constitutional right was stripped. They just trampled all over our Constitution, and so it is something. And Bush said, "Oh, I got all this credit," and that's what Obama thinks. He's got all this credit. Well, Bush's credit wasn't worth anything, and it won't be worth anything in history, and neither will Obama if he just wants to be a fascist. And they think, well, the establishment. Well, I'm just going with the establishment, and that's true, because the establishment is that slave ship, that Rothschild slave ship. And somebody asked me about the Rothschilds and about the stock market, and what did the Rothschilds have to do with the stock market? And the best way I can explain that is to say that they didn't happen overnight, neither one of them. I mean, the stock market was small, the Rothschilds were small. The Rothschilds had 5 brothers, and they went around to all these countries and got involved with their central banks, and they got involved in their stock markets and developed stock markets. And they were professional bankers, but they're professional shysters, and that's all Wall Street is, a bunch of shysters up there. And then somebody asked Geithner, they said, well, now are we going to have to keep spending money on these banks? And Geithner hemmed and hawed around and said, oh, well, so, yeah, like we're supposed to take on all these, crappy bets and things that these people make. You talk about a Ponzi scheme. The reason they say Social Security is a Ponzi scheme is because they've been taking money out of it every single year, all the excess. So there's all these IOUs for Social Security because all the extra, per year. Like this year there was a surplus of like $250 billion or whatever. So they just take it out, and put an IOU there. That's the Ponzi scheme about it all, is there's people taking money out that doesn't belong to them. And so now Obama, he's just going to say, well, we just got to give the Federal Reserve more power, and don't worry about me. I won't go down in history as a fascist. I won't go down in history as somebody that said okay to torture and said okay to not having your day in court. Sure, some people, they don't deserve a day in court. I mean, they aren't like you or me. They're protesting something. They don't like the fact that, say, like in Israel, that Israel has been occupying their Palestine for 60 years. As a matter of fact, all of Israel was Palestine. So it was actually an invasion to begin with. And it wasn't even Israelis per se, because they aren't what you would call... they're Kinsey Jews or whatever. They're like not real from the Jewish bloodline even. They're just kind of like the Rothschilds. They're not really Jews. They're just take on the Jewish almost like you or I could, somebody, could say we're Jewish or something. Not really even Jewish. And anyway, the whole idea of religion is just, all religions are based on pagan religion anyway. That Jesus is based on the sun, God, and astrology. If you look it up, you'll see that the 25th of December isn't it's an astrology. It's a very significant astrology day because that is when all the three brightest stars line up, in a pattern, and a solstice day. But anyway, what I'm saying about today is now they have the Sotomayor thing coming up. And that's going to take up a lot of their time, so they're just going to shuffle some of these other cards, try to poo-poo them. That's all they did for 8 years, is poo-poo, make small stuff out of things that were, fairly significant, like torture things and like holding people, holding people in other countries, and all that's, and wiretapping and all that. So whenever they can, they'll slide that around and just, see how they can make it look like a minor thing. But it isn't a minor thing. And the rat ship we've been on since 1700s, that's the best way I can describe it, because, see, a lot of people came over here as indentured servants too. There was a lot of slave trading going on, but it was also indentured servants. And that's mercantilism to the worst degree, and that's what we are. That's like the Queen of England. They have all their subjects, and we're considered a subject. We're all on our birth certificate and everything. We're considered like subjects to the Queen, especially in Canada. That's why Canada is so, you gotta, you think you're free, boy. Canada, you're really not free. At least not now. It's gotten worse and worse. It's like the Rothschilds have gotten bigger and bigger, and they buy up these companies. People say, "Where's their money going?" Well, what they do is they take all the money that they made in the stock market and they buy up more company stock. They'll dump off some, buy some other, and they're just having a field day with their tax dollars, with our pensions, and Obama. What does he care about your pension? You think he cares about your pension? He cares about the establishment and how a little guy like him, or a little guy like, say, one of us, could get all the way to the top, and so he's at the top, and he figures that that how he got there was with bankers' money, so he might as well just go along with whatever they say. But in the end, it's not gonna bode well. It's better to die a hero even than to go down with these bankers, because they're just, that rat ship has got so many holes in it now. It's just like, patching up. You could patch up an ocean liner, but I mean, if it's got so many holes in it, it's just ridiculous. So I just hope that he switches, that he understands that, that he should be a man of his word. He was smart enough to get all the way to where he got, but it should make, he's got a chance of a lifetime, and he's going to blow it unless he changes what he's doing. Thank you very much.